All right, guys. Welcome to the Fundamental Bias Weekly Review for the week of October 18th, 2021. So we're gonna start in a couple of minutes. So I'm just gonna share the link to a few people that on a few things that we have here. So bear with me, guys. So in about 3 or 4 minutes, we're gonna start. Okay. So we're gonna start in 3 to 4 minutes. All right, welcome, guys. So we're gonna start in a few minutes. So at yeah, in 2 minutes. So 9:05 as usual. So in 2 minutes. All right. So welcome, guys, to the weekly review of the fundamental bias for the week of October 18th. So I was on the Discord chat. I was looking at the results here overall for everyone, and I saw that most of you guys were hitting anything that was GBP. So as you all know, on Monday, I did review. We looked at the fundamental bias, and it was clearly stating that the GBP pairs will be moving for the week, and it actually did. So that's what we're going to look at tonight here to see exactly the bias that we have overall for the week, and we're going to look at our trading view and see exactly the setups that we're giving overall for the week. So so I'm just going to make sure that everyone can hear me. Type the number 1 if you can hear me, and we're going to start to look at everything here. I'm just going to set up my stuff here. All right. Okay, so so I'm just going to pull up my chart, and we're going to start the review. Okay. All right, perfect. So so I'm going to start sharing my screen. And let's look at what happened this week. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna see. First, we're gonna look at the actual data that we had for the week. Perfect. So you see, we do. I do that. I do this every week, guys. So perfect. Okay. So as we talked about on Monday, is that for the first time since a while, basically the first time from the year, we had a bias on one direction on most of the COT pairs that were moving. Okay, so that doesn't mean that the bias the actual chart went that way, but that means specifically that the currency was moving for the week. Okay, and most of the GBP pair were moving a lot, and we had big moves overall for the week. So I'm just gonna look at each of them and overall the pairs that we have here on the list. Okay, so we're gonna start with AUD CHF. Okay, even though I have the ZAR here, but I'm gonna put the ZAR at the end as you always. So AUD CHF. And we're gonna look at a few forex here. Perfect. And we always use Oanda. Okay, so if you're using the Enigma system, okay, make sure that you're on Oanda when you do you use it, okay, because it's not gonna work on anything else than Oanda. Okay, so that's really important. All right, perfect. And we always look at when we do a review on the Fridays or Saturday, depending exactly of the time. We always look at the weekly chart first to see if our bias made sense or not. Okay, and see exactly if it was moving. Okay, so our bias was a buy. So it did bought for the week, but it closed as a doji. Okay, so let's go down on the hourly chart to see what happened for the week overall, and if we had any setups with Enigma. So far, we already see two of them here. And I always, guys, if I have a signal on Friday after 7 a.m., I do not take the trade. Okay, I do not take the signal. The reason why is that this is the end of the week, and usually on Fridays they give you some consolidation, or they're gonna try to trap you to end the week. Okay, so on my end, no bueno on Friday. Okay, so let's look at what happened here. Okay, so the week started here. So that means that we only had two setups. And like I said, Friday, don't take it. So basically there was only one setup here. Okay. So far, I do see it was a win on that signal. Always you do a replay to see exactly what happened. Okay. All right. So let's start. Put it here. No, perfect. So let's start the replay. Speed is good. Perfect. Perfect. So the signal was right there for buy. And when you see the entry price like this, you could put a pending order depending exactly if you're not near the price, okay? But usually what I do is that when I see the price, it's not giving me something that is that could be pending. I always go on execution, market execution, okay? So I get in the trade, I put my stop loss, TP1, TP2, TP3, okay? And let's see what it did here. So first hour, almost TP1. Now TP1 was hit right there. It was hit right there. Okay, and what I do always, I always move my stop loss to break even, take partial on my TP1. Okay, usually I take 25% of my trade, and I let the rest run to TP2, and then I took another 25%, and then I get out for the remaining balance here. Okay, but you decide exactly what strategy that you want to do with the TPs. Okay, so that's really your prerogative on that. We don't tell you what to do. Okay, that's your account. You trade. You're the trader. Okay, so you only use the tool to trade. Okay, so if you want to take only like 10%, 20% at TP1, or just take no percentage and just write it out, it's your decision on that. Okay. So let's continue. So TP1 was hit. Clearly TP1 was hit right there again. So if you, that's really another confirmation here. Let's continue. So he never went to the entry so far. Almost. Right there would that stop you out, but in green. Why? Because you always took profit here. Take partial profit on TP1. And another thing is that you could re-enter for a buy, if you see that the actual market, the actual pattern makes sense to you to re-enter. Okay, let's continue. So you went still in the entry price. Now it's going back up. Here, see, that's why you have to know market structure, because it did a little we say a little W here, went here, zigzag, back up. So TP1 hit again. So it would stop you out here, and then I think it went back down. So that's a reversal pattern here. Yeah, exactly. So let's close it out. So already in this move, you would have hit TP1 once, went back to your entry price, then went back up, TP1, almost TP2. But it never went there, and then sold off for the rest of the day and the end of the week. Okay, so that's a win. I consider that a win. Perfect. So CAT CHF. Let's look at CAT CHF. We always start on the weekly. And all right. Okay, so CAT CHF. We're going to look at the weekly. We said it was a buy, but it was it went down to a sell. Okay, but it was a strong sell. Like I said, the fundamental buys give you an edge in the market. Why? Because it's giving you exactly that the currency is moving a lot for the week, and you just have to wait for the setups with Enigma, and you're going to be profitable. Okay. So let's look at the hourly chart to see if we have any setup with Enigma. So we do. Let's start on the 18th. So we had two setups, and like I said, there was one setup on Friday. No bueno, like we say. We do not trade on Fridays because it's a trap move they're gonna do on Friday. Okay. They're making their move for the next week. Okay. So that means that we only had one signal, and that was on the 22nd. That was on Thursday. It was a sell. So let's do a replay. Here, right. Take this candle. All right. So let's do a review. Replay. Okay. Perfect. Entry. Stop loss, TP1, TP3. So if it's that way, if you see the stop loss on top of the entry, that means that we're looking to sell. Okay. If it's above, if it's under the entry, so if it's the other way around, we're looking to buy. Okay. So since it's above the entry, we're looking to sell. So TP1, TP2, TP3. Let's continue. Could be in drawdown, but never went to your stop loss. Now it's going. Went back. See here? It went back to your entry. So you have the option to, depending exactly on the level of trading that you have overall. Me personally, I would re-enter for another entry for a sell here. Why? Because it's doing basically a retest of the entry. If you look at market structure, you see that it's going. It wants to retest it and then sell off. So let's continue. Right there, next candle, it's moving. TP1 hit right there. Same thing, guys. TP1 was hit. What we do, we take your stop loss, we put it at break even at your entry, and you take out a percentage of your position, okay, to secure your profits, okay? Because we don't want people to get in the trade, leave the trade open, never take take profit or partial profit, and then the market just go back against you and you didn't change anything, and you're losing the trade when you were supposed to be winning. We don't want you guys to do that, okay? Just follow the steps and you're gonna be in the green most of the time, okay? Let's continue. Now it's consolidating here. So let's speed it up a little bit. There you go. So let's say you're still in the trade, okay? You still have 75. You still have 75% of your trade open, okay? It gives you another sell position, but like I said, on Friday I do not take another position on my trade. So you have the option, if you want to avoid the swap fees over the weekend and the market gap, I will tell you guys to close out your trade before New York session on Friday, okay? There you go. So it's done. So basically, it went only to TP1 for the week, and then consolidated here, did a little bit move, and then consolidated to close, okay? But I never like to have trade open over the weekend. That's me, guys. But if you like, because I know people that I know traders that only trade market gaps. That means that they're opening a position on Friday, knowing exactly what was going to happen on the next week, and then they could have a big gap in the market, and then they get a big profit, or they could get a big loss. Okay, because when the market opens, it does a big move, and sometimes it's not going to hit your stop loss. We call that slippage in the market over the weekend. Okay, so avoid that at all means. So far so good. Yeah, type the number 2 if you look you like the session so far. If you have any questions, don't be shy. Put it there in the description, and I'll put it on the screen so everyone can see the question. Okay. So type the number 2 if you like it so far. And I'm gonna continue with the next pair. All right, perfect. Next pair, CAD JPY. Let's see, CAD JPY. we see that as a buy on a fundamental bias, but never know. But I think this one went up. No, not even. It went up for the week, and then it closed as a bearish candle. So based on the movement on the weekly, I assume on the 1 hour we should have setups. There you go, and you have multiple here. Oh, it's gonna, that and oh. All right. So we had the 3 setups. Last one was on Friday. All right. So on the next one, well, I'm not going to do a replay because we do see that it's those are buy signals, right? This buy and this is another buy. But even here, you see that was the TP1 and that was the entry price, okay? So it started here, went back up. It almost touched TP1, sold off, and then it would have stopped you out right there, okay? Then you had another buy signal, and this one hit TP1. Okay, so far, based on the, and like I said, Friday, I never look at Fridays because you see that, guys, it's what move would you have? Give you an entry price here and just consolidate here, and it didn't do nothing. That's why I do not trade Fridays. So on these 2 signals, this one you would have lost, okay? Unless you have put your TP lower than the actual price that the system is giving you, okay? Because you have the option to put the TP lower than the TP1, depending exactly on your trading style. So it would have been a win depending on your trading style, but on the actual system, it would have taken a loss here, okay? But you had another opportunity to re-enter for a buy, and that would have hit your TP right here, your TP1. So you would have been lost here, win 25%, and then went back to your entry price because you would have changed your stop loss to break even right here. Okay. Next, let's see, Roast Chef. So Euro Chef was still a sell. It was a sell here. We were looking for a buy, but it was a sell. But it did went up and then sold off. Okay. So if we go down on the 1 hour, so on the 1 hour, we had 2 entries. Put it back up here. So this entry almost TP1. Okay. But it sold off, went to your stop loss. So that's a loss here. But the best move here was this one. And that was on Thursday. That was your entry for sell. Stop loss, TP1, TP2, TP3. And look at this. Went to TP1. And then, like I said, if you left percentage of your trade open, it would have hit TP2 here on Friday. And at that point on Friday, I would have closed my trade here. And another thing, the reason why I close my trade here, because next week the the fundamental bias is different. Okay, so I want to know exactly what I want to look for on trades. Sometimes you would be in like I said, maybe a Euro CHF trade for a week, and next week you don't trade that pair. Why? Because our fundamental bias changed from week to week. So that's why I do not carry on trades from a week to another. That's another thing. Okay. But this is a win. Perfect. Next, let's see. Yeah, Euro JPY. Same thing, went up and closed bearish. Okay. So that means that we had some movement. Okay, so there was 3 entries, signals here from Enigma. First move was on Thursday. That was the entry. After 2 hours, TP1, TP2 hit almost TP3. But at that point, I would have put my my trading stop to TP1. So it would have went back to my TP1 and close out my trade. So that means I would have already gotten like at least half of my position in profit, because I would have to take in already 25% here and another 25% right there. Okay. And then it went and give you another entry for a buy. And this one never hit TP1. And it went back to your stop loss right there. Okay. And make sure, if you see that it's near your stop loss, guys, don't try to write out the trade. If you're able to analyze the pricing and the movement of the market, just get out of the trade. Don't if you're able to secure more of your account, just do it. Okay. And finally, you have Friday. Like I said, Friday there was nothing. There's absolutely nothing here. All right, next. Let's see. Now we have GBP JPY. Same thing. Price went up and then closed bearish, meaning that we had some movement. That's the only thing that's the only thing that we're looking to get with our fundamental bias, guys. We want to know exactly the pairs that are moving. Okay. So if we know exactly that those pairs will be moving for the week, that means that my account will be secured. Okay. So I'll be able to increase my account instead of guessing the direction. Okay. Or guessing which pair will be moving for the week. Okay. So that's why we have an edge in with the EFX, is that we know exactly where the market, which market will be moving. Okay. Overall for the week. So now you had an entry here for a buy, but it never went to a buy. Stop loss, so that's a loss here. And that was the only trade sent out with Inigo on the H1. Same thing Friday, there's nothing. So we'll see what the COT for next week will give us, so we can know exactly which pair we're gonna continue to look at. Okay, because it could be that the setup is good, guys, but I want to know what's gonna happen on when market opens, to gauge myself, to know exactly which direction I want to look at, and which pair I'm gonna look at. Okay, let's see CHF. So this week it was a lot of DPO and CHF here overall with our fundamental bias. Same thing, went up, closed bearish. So H1. So we had one setup, and it was a sell setup. Entry here for sell. Sold off almost TP1, went back up. You see it's a downtrend. If I put a trend line, you're gonna see that it's a downtrend here. So you have the option to put another position for a sell, or just keep the original entry here, right there. But the price went back to that entry price at least 2 times after the original entry. And then it went back down here, beginning of Friday, hit DP1. And then I would have put my my stop loss at break even, and I would monitor the trade during Friday before New York session start. Okay, and then I would have closed the rest of my trade. Okay, so even here it went back to TP2, but gave you another entry at the same time. But I would look at my TP2 pricing, get out of the trade. I would have never taken the trade on the trade that was sent out on Friday. I would have still monitored my original trade that I took on Thursday, and I would close my trade right there when it hit this point. Okay, close out everything, and we move on. Okay, now NZD CHF. So NZD CHF went up it still closed bearish here. Okay, but it was a big wick here, so that means that it was moving a lot. So let's look at the 1 hour. All right. So here, let's look at what happened here. So basically, that's the first trade for the week here, and that was on Sunday, being on Monday morning. So that was a buy, but it would have taken you out here. Same thing here. Buy entry, but it consolidated all week. And personally, the NZD-CHF pair, I do not trade it a lot because it's a pair that most of the time is consolidating. It's something that I really like. So, and another thing, guys, if you have to look at the every pair that is offered here in the market, make sure that you look at all of them, and you're gonna see exactly which one that you like or not. Okay. Me personally, what I like as a pair is GBP pair, the GB pairs specifically, because they move really nicely overall, and based on the risk to reward and the amount per pip that you could gain, it's more compared to the others. Okay, that's why I love the GB pair, especially GU, GA, and GOT. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so we have token and loss here, still a loss here because you see that wick, and then Friday, no bueno. And now JPY. That is the JPY. All right, so went up and it closed bullish here. All right, so perfect. So here, first trade, we had a buy. It would have stopped you out right there at this candle. That's a loss. Second entry was on the 19th, so that was Tuesday. For buy, then it's consolidated like for hours here, guys. Hours, and then it went and made the move. TP1 hit, so 25% off, and then went back to your entry, stopped you out at your entry price. So that's a win. And Friday, no bueno as always. Now we're gonna look at the last three pairs, we have US CHF, JPY, and ZAR. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Okay. So USD CHF sold off for a week, went back up and closed bearish. That means that we have movement. So we should have some setups. Yes. So we have three setups here. Let's see if we had any one that won here. So the first setup here was on the 21st, yeah, for buy. Unfortunately, it went to your stop loss. So that's a loss. Then you had another buy. And you consolidated a lot. Went back to your entry like these three times. Then it hit TP1 on Friday, right there, on this candle. And like I said, depending exactly on when on Friday the market is at, I close my trades accordingly before market close on trades that I took previously, not on Friday. Okay. So if I take a trade on Thursday and it write it out on Friday, that's okay. But I never take a trade on Friday. If I see a setup on Friday, I do not take it. And even on Friday, I do not open my chart. I only open my chart at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I do our review. Okay. So yeah. So let's look at APY hourly. Oops, on the weekly. Let's go back on the weekly. So the weekly sold off. So it went back up, did a wick, went down bearish, and closed bearish. Let's look at the hourly. I think the US had nice moves here overall. So we had one entry for sell. So we have the entry here, consolidated here, went down, almost took TP1, then went back up. But this is, if you see, it's a W, then sold off. So originally you would still be in a trade. So TP1 would be hit and you would have to close off the rest of your positions here before market close on Friday. Okay. And lastly, we have USD ZAR. Okay, so USD ZAR, that was a buy. And you had 2 entries here on the ZAR. So right there, even on the first entry, we see that the trade hit TP3 right there. So that was the entry, consolidated here, sold off TP1 right here, 25%, TP2 on the second candle, another 25% off, so 50 off. I will put my stop loss at TP1, consolidate here, then dropped off to close and get TP3. And Friday, you already know the motto is no bueno. Perfect. So that's it for today. So I don't know if you have any questions, guys. I'm just gonna stop my sharing. Perfect. So as you all see that this week the buys, I think there was 2 buys that were correct. I think the NZD CHF and the USD GPY, I think was correct. We're gonna have a buys for the direction, but overall the all of the pair were moving. Like all of the pair did the wicks for the week, so that means that they hit the high or low, and then low of the week, and then sold off or bought, depending exactly on the direction. So, and what we're gonna do on Monday, okay, we're gonna do the buys for next week. So that'll be for the week of whether my week here, the 25th. Okay, so we're gonna look at the last 2 weeks of data, and we're gonna see exactly which market will be moving overall for the week. And eventually, may add indices as our fundamental bias. I will see what I can do on that, but it could be starting in a couple of weeks here from now. So be alert on that. And if you don't have access to our Enigma signal, and the system that I showed you on TradingView, make sure to be a member of Elevated FX. We do have a link in the description in our Facebook group, or if you're on our Telegram free signal chat, we have a link on the description above. And if you're on the fence here, you could look at all the results here on our Enigma Telegram chat. You're gonna see the signals out, the TradingView layout, and most of the time we give you if it hit or not the TPs, but most of the time it does hit the TPs here, even if it's TP1, TP2, or TP3. So that note, I'll stay here for a couple of minutes for questioning. If not, we're gonna close the webinar for today. And I think they're starting next week. We should have some presentation here on the Enigma software and any other product that we're offering overall with the Elevated FX. So stay tuned on that. So we should have some announcement here on our Discord chat. And make sure you put your results here in the profit zone that we have on Discord. And yeah, so I'll wait a few minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, if there's any questions. If not, we're gonna close the webinar. So I hope you guys had a great week of trading, and hope that you liked the presentation, the webinar here today. So we're gonna get another one on Monday, same time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're gonna look at the buys here for the week. So it should be an interesting week next week. Yeah, stay tuned. Perfect. All right. So there's no questions. Perfect. Okay, great. So guys, so we'll leave it at that. So thank you guys to be tuning in. If you have any questions, always put your question on the discussion box if you're on YouTube, Facebook, or on my personal YouTube page. I'll be glad to answer your question. And one of the questions that I had on my YouTube page was regarding of the indices, so that's why I'm contemplating of doing that. So I'm just gonna revise everything on my end, and we should have that in a couple of weeks or two. Okay. So that note, I wish you a wonderful end of the week and a great weekend, and start fresh on Monday to crush the market. Perfect. So have a great evening, guys.